I was born in Great Crosby in Liverpool, and at the age of 4 I moved to New Brighton in Wallasey, where I had a very happy childhood and went to a little school opposite, and at the age of 11, when the Second World War broke out, I went to the high school, where I stayed for 3 years. My father died when I was 18, and I had joined the Women's Land Army, where it was jolly hard work for young girls digging the land for victory in those days. And when my father died, which would be your great-great-granddad, I had to leave to stay at home with great-great-grandma.
What were their names?
Alec and Annie Pringle. Then, after a year working in an office in Liverpool, where I used to get there by going on the bus to Seacombe in Wallasey and then across the ferry to Liverpool. I worked in this office, which was very, very boring.
And what were you doing in there?
I was clerical, doing accounts and things, and I got very bored stiff, and I left and rejoined the Land Army, where I was very, very happy and was posted to a place called Tutton Park, near Knutsford in Cheshire, which is a very well-known Lord... what's his name? Lord of Tutton.
Yeah.
What's the Tutton estate? It's a huge estate where they hold these do's like Glastonbury and stuff like that they hold there. I left there in 1949 to get married to Norman Davis, who I married on April the 16th, 1949.
How did you meet?
We met at the Tower Ballroom, New Brighton. He was in the Air Force and I had gone for the dancing, and I met him there and we went around a bit, and then Grandad Davis went to India for 3 years, and we corresponded. And when he came back in 1948, we met up again and got engaged January 1949. I got married in April 1949, where we stationed at a place called Uxbridge in Middlesex. And from there, I expected my first child, Paul's Uncle Malcolm, in 1950. On the 26th of April 1950, Malcolm Davis was born. 21 months later, your mother, Adam's grandmother, Marilyn, was born. At the age of approximately 3 months, they were both born at Mill Lane Hospital in Wallasey, and at the age of 2.5 months, 3 months, we went to join Grandad Davis in Germany, where he had been posted, where we lived for 4 very happy years near Cologne, which was more or less the capital of Germany at the time, which was very badly blitzed in the Second World War. Yeah, do you like mummy talking? After our 4 years there, we came back to England and posted to Henlow, Bedfordshire, where your mum and Uncle Malcolm went to school, and Grandad Davis was at RAF Henlow, and Grandma stayed at home and did the housework, except in harvesting time, when Grandad and Grandma, we used to go potato picking, hoping to earn lots of money to go on holiday, of which Grandma, Edwards and Uncle Malcolm, they came along as well and picked up the ones we left, which they earned a bit of pocket money from it. We left there in after 18 months. We left Henlow and went to Aden, where we lived for 2 years. Horrible hot place. Grandad was posted out to a place called Salt Pans, outskirts of Aden. Grandma worked at the NAFI there as the chief cashier. We lived in a lovely flat, right top floor mansionette thing, where great parties used to be held. And Grandma would go to work next day with a bit of a hangover and dark glasses, and think, oh God, I forgot to tell the houseboy something, because we were supplied with the houseboy. Dash back up 100 and something stairs to our top floor flat and get a can of Tiger out of the fridge, down it quickly and skip all the way down those stairs back to work again. This is great fun. While in Aden, after a year, we were our fares paid for by the Royal Air Force to take a break at Mombasa in Kenya, where we went for 2 weeks. Absolute heaven. White sand, blue seas, monkeys running over the top of you, chalets that you stayed in. Lovely place. And after our stint in, where are we up to? Aden. Came back from there. Ooh, where did we go after that? Western Supermare. I was at Locking, he was at Locking. Then he was posted to Baghdad in Iraq, of which we joined him soon after he went, which is another hot, very smelly place, where your grandma and Uncle Malcolm used to enjoy sitting outside the Iraqis' hut while they made chapatis, which was Iraqi food. I was petrified. While we were there, Grandma had to go in, was rushed into hospital to have her appendix out. And Grandad was up country, and he had to be brought back rapidly because of the children. And while I was, the day after I had my appendix out, I switched on the radio in this lovely private hospital room. There was nothing coming through because the King of Iraq, which was King Hussein, was assassinated, and majority of his family. That was on July the about the 14th, 1958. We finished. And we were made to leave the country, and Grandad Davis had to stay behind. He saw us to the airport, where we were led off, one little family at a time, which was Grandma, great-grandma, Malcolm, along, across the runway, just one set at a time, with the guards holding their rifles at you as you cross the tarmac. It was absolutely terrifying. When we got back to England, we were transported up to Blackpool again, where we stayed until Grandad came back from Baghdad. Then we moved to Western Superman.
You've been
Western Superman.
Did you go twice to Western?
I think where did we go? So we stayed at Marlborough. We went to Marlborough in Devon. Where the heck did we come from? We were in Western when we bought the Anglia car. We sold that. We came back. Oh, sweet. Huh. Got lost with where I was and where I am. I was fell in Mull because Malcolm passed as 11 plus there. Where's Cormaxa? That's 8, isn't it? Yeah. It wasn't 11 when we went to Aden. Aden? Sweet. Singapore was at the end.
Did you go back to Germany?
No. Did Germany, we did Aden, did Baghdad. It was at Marlborough. He took us 11 plus. Sweet. Now I think we came here, up to Brood. He was posted to Cosford. And we lived in a hiring in Brood and then saw this house up for sale and we bought this house. And then we'd been in here about 18 months. Went off we go to Singapore for 3 years. It was lovely.
You keep the house here?
We rented the house out to the Air Force, of which it was made a lot of mess of in the 3 years we were away, which the Air Force had to compensate for. And then we came back, and while the house was being put into a state of repair again, we stayed with Frank and Betty Dearden in the village. And Malcolm was in boarding school at the grammar school, which was then in existence in the village. It was a very well-known grammar school and had boarders from all over the country. As in, he was 18.
1968.
62, 1850.
1968. It was 18.
2000, no?
In 1968, he'd have been 18.
Yeah, that's about the time I suppose it was. He just left. Margaret had, Graham, he'd finished his education when he was 18, and it was the year after. He was 19. About 19. 71?
69.
61?
69, he'd have been 19.
So,
Yeah. I'm
21.
10 years older than
21 and 19, it's 40s, 50.
20. I was, but he's 20 years younger than me. So,
What's that got to do with it?
just for when he was born 50, wasn't he?
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to get at.
50, 69. When the school closed, about 1969, 1970. The grammar school closed down and was turned into a comprehensive
Middle one.
middle school. And then your granddad was posted to Turkey, a civilian job. He came out of the Air Force, became a civilian. I stayed here, went to work at Beatty's in the cash office there as a deputy manager. There for 2 years, and I got the job as postmistress in Brood, where I stayed for about 10 years, and then I left, and that's my story.
No.
Elected, and dippy, back to your corner. That's all I remember. I don't remember doing tap dancing or anything like that.
When did you and Norman split up?
23 years ago.
1977.
And then 76, 77, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, your mum got married.
75. 76. Don't know when she got married.
I'll tell you when she got married. 75. 27th of September 1975. Because it was the day after she was married, he asked for a divorce.
Oh, lovely.
Very kind, wasn't it, in 1975? Something I haven't forgotten. I was not amused, as you can imagine. And Next time I saw him was when I had rather a bit of a from with the police by having caught a car on the corner of Crestwood Park, and I was over the top.
A little or a lot?
It was quite a lot over. Where I was banned for a year and fined about £25 or something. It wasn't very much, you know, in what you get fined these days. And I was not amused, but there you are. And then Bob took pity on me after I lost my licence, and he started taking me if I needed to go anywhere. He would come round like a good boy, take me and bring me home. And in the end, we eventually got married on October the 14th, 1978.
In Brood.
At the Little Methodist Church in Bruges, yeah. And that's it, we're still here. Oh God. I'm going to say they got married.
75.
So it must have been about 73. And your mum met him in London. Where she met him, I don't know. But he came up for a weekend stay. And we met, Grandad and I met your mum and Dad at the Anchor Inn at Coven. And he's the first chap that he liked.
Who Norman liked?
Yeah. Yeah. We were very taken with him.
This funny London accent.
No, he was a charmer. He got such a way with him. He treated your mum badly. Very well. Yeah, I didn't like, obviously. So because when you got engaged and we met up at your mum's house,
yeah.
and there's Anne, I never met Anne before, and the children, and we all went out for a smoke. And I said to your dad in passing, "You were a sod, but I still think you're gorgeous."
Were you in Brood when James and I were both born?
Yes.
So 78 and 80. Did you come to the hospital or did you wait?
Oh yes. I came to the hospital, went to the hospital. We weren't married then. I came to the hospital. Bob and I weren't married. He brought me to visit your mum when you were born. I think she had a cesarean for you.
I don't think so. Nice girl.
She had quite a hard...
I had forceps, I think.
She had quite a bad time having you.
I think I was all blue. Had the cord around my neck, apparently.
Mm.
From Mum.
And then 21 months later, it's about 21 months between you, isn't there?
I was born in April, James was born in February, so
In March, April.
22
Well,
months.
Not much difference
No.
because Malcolm's April the 16th and your mum's January the 30th.
Yes, it's about the same.
There's 21 months, I reckon, between them. It's about the same between you and Paul. But you were such a thin, skinny babe. God, it used to worry me sick.
She probably didn't feed me properly.
Oh, I
Right,
don't
excuse
know. I
me.
don't know what on earth it was. She was so thin and skinny, and Jamie was as well. He was thin and skinny. It worried me. Sick.
He's still thin and skinny.
Well, when he got to be those pictures up there, he was that cheeky grin. He was right podge. You were two podges. Oh dear.
Did you ever have to look after us if Mum went out when we were kids?
What's he licking at?
Oh, come on.
We used to, when Mum was working nights, you and James used to stay here. And you were in a small bedroom in bunk beds. And you used to wake Bob up quite early on a Sunday morning. Is it time to get the papers yet, Bob? Bob, is it time for the papers? Bob, time for the papers. And you had your breakfast, then you had cereal if you wanted cereal, your toast, but you're too busy for that. You wanted to go for the papers because you had 10p each to spend on revolting those goody bits, you know, you pick your own.
Pick and make sweets.
You got quite a lot for 10p.
They were worth half-a-penny each then, weren't they?
I don't know. Do you want one?
Yeah, alright. Did Chris get you these?
You joking? you wouldn't get one bloody fag off him, let alone a packet.
I never got one off him.
You got one off
No,
him? No, you wouldn't.
never asked. He's got a couple off me.
No, you wouldn't get one off him. Oh, well, come, brought me these. Yeah, he used to come and stay with us, and we had Cindy dog then, if you remember Cindy.
Yeah, I remember Cindy. I sent her a
Beautiful
Christmas
dog.
card one year.
Beautiful dog she was. And one of you would hold the lead to go to the sweetie shop, and the other one would have the lead coming back from the sweetie shop. She was as good as gold, was Sid.
Better than Pooch.
Oh,
Pooch was a
no,
devil. Pooch was a devil.
No way.
But
He was banished outside.
Sin used to lay when Jamie was come and visit, and he'd be in a carry cot. Or yes, he'd be in the carry
Very
cot.
good. Yeah.
Cindy would lay at the side, watching,
Make sure no one got in.
just watching it over him. Yeah, good as gold she was.
Pooch wouldn't do that, would he? He'd tear my head off. I remember coming round and he was out sitting on top of the coal bunker.
Yeah, so I was just sitting there.
Dad used to take him out, or Bob.
Your dad used to take him when your mum and dad lived here before they got the house in Penkridge. They lived here for a while before they were married.
In sin.
And your dad used to take him, yeah. He was alright with your dad.
Because he's so big, wasn't he?
No, because he was part of the family. He was alright with him and with your mum. And with Malcolm. Pooch was okay. And Joan and Dennis Manette. Because when I was working, they used to have him more or less during the day. Or they always took him out for a walk during the day when I was working. That's about all. Wasn't anybody else in. He was my dog. Anybody else in?
Did you ever bite anybody?
Yeah, bit Bob. Bit a policeman friend I had.
Did you all blood?
And he bit another friend I had, Jim Hitchener. When Dennis had him out on the lead, he bit an old man on the hand, and Dan and Joan had said, "Don't touch him, he said, "Oh, he's a lovely looking dog." She said, "Yes, but don't touch him, he's not that lovely." And he had his hand and he had to go and have a tetanus jab, and I thought, oh God. And he bit somebody on the leg. Actually, it didn't go right through, but he made a hole in the fellow's trousers. Your mum and Ethne were talking in the village on the pavement, and she'd got Pooch close to her leg, and this fellow wearing plimsolls and approached from the back, and he had him. Whether he thought he was going to attack your mum or not, I don't know. So I got a bill for a pair of trousers.
What was Mum like when she was a teenager? Last thing. She a rebel or was she a nice girl?
She was excellent. Very, very good.
I didn't want to hear that.
She was a great student, took her studies very, very seriously. She belonged to the Girl Guides, the Red Cross, all those years ago. She joined the Red Cross as junior. Badminton, belonged to badminton. She had various boyfriends, but they all called at the house. It wasn't a question of, I'll meet you so and so. They all came to the house, met her, always came in and said, "Good evening, Mrs. Davis." "Good evening," whoever. "Don't be too late home." No, and they'd bring her safely home about 10:30, something like that. She was in.
A word.
No problem.
About you then when you were a teenager? Doesn't it go in skip a generation? Don't skip her. Get to me.
To you, I hate to think of you. Baby, you were, I don't know, pain in the backside, I think. You and Jamie put you to bed, tell you a story, and we'd got 2 storybooks upstairs, still got them. One's 365 stories, which is one a day sort of thing. But the other one was an assortment of stories. Well, there's one in this flipping book that you had to have night after night, and it would bore the backside off me at the end. So I'd try it by turn a couple of pages. "You've missed some, Nan, and you're only about 3 and a half, but you've missed some, Nan. Turn back." You had to find where it and read this perishing thing again. So I'm getting a bit hacked off with this book. I know what I'll do, Paul. James, tell you a little story about a little boy called Paul and another little boy called James, should I? Oh yes, that was great. And the 2 of you'd sit up in bed, big-eyed, all about these little boys and what they'd done, staying with their grandma, different things they'd done, of which the elder one, called Paul, would say, "That's not right, Nan, we didn't do that at all." I said, "Well, this little boy Paul in my story did." Oh, God. The following night or the next time he'd come and stay, "Tell us a story, Nan, about these 2 little boys called Paul and James." You have to think, now what on earth can it yak about this time? I wished I never started the dash thing.
What were you like when you were a teenager? Can you remember?
Yes, I can remember.
A bad girl?
No, not really, no. It had to be in by a certain time. I was, 16, I suppose, before I was allowed to go to a dance. I never bothered with boys. Didn't like boys. I was about 16, I was allowed to go to the Tower Ballroom with Jen and Bruce, if they went, I was allowed to go. But I had to be home by 10 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah, no.
And I said, well, can't I stay till the end? Because Bruce and Jen are staying till the end. If you go, you're home such in time.
Were your parents really strict?
Oh, yes. Mm. I was naughty. I don't know if Dad had died then, I would. I know I was late back because there was a lot of servicemen floating around that time. The war was over, admitted, but there was a lot of Yanks around and Air Force people and naval people. And I know I went to one dance and sat at the top of the road where we lived. There was a bench, sat at the top there. And it was about 11:30 when I got home. My mum came down and let me in, didn't have a key. In a dressing gown, and she used to have long hair at the time. And it was plaits down her back. She opened the door and she got a strap. Oh, don't hit me, Mum. And I just ran like Billy out upstairs to bed and locked my bedroom door. I don't know if she would have hit me, but thinking, I've thought about it later on when I got a bit older and thought, well, the reason she was so cross is she was possibly worried. Like if your mum had been late in, I'd have been worried stiff, wondering where she was, if she was all right. Of course, when she was that age, I was younger than her then. But when she went down to London nursing, what she got up to, I never knew, because she was working in London. I never knew what she got up to. I'd have probably worried sick of her now.
How old was she when she moved down there? 18?
18. Yeah. She went nursing. Yes, independent. Malcolm went when he was 18 and she went when she was 18.